Welcome to my 15-minute segment of the Revs Limiter Virtual Car Show. Adam, thank you so much for my invite. I'm Jimmy DeVille from Discovery Channel's Goblin Works Garage, and today I'm going to give you a personal guided tour of some of the cars I keep in here from the show and also some of my personal chariots. I will have to say right now that this is a pre-record because sadly the Wi-Fi here is rubbish, so I can't stream live, but you know what? You can still leave me comments, any questions, and I will try and answer them all. Right. Come on, you lot. Let's go have a look. Okay, the first car I want to show you is one of the vehicles that probably on the series Goblin Works Garage caused the most upset. This is it. It's a Series 2A Land Rover, and on the show in Season 1 we slammed this thing to the deck while still using standard Land Rover running gear. Now, I absolutely love this vehicle, and that's because it is a true Marmite car. What do I mean by Marmite? Well, some people love it and some people hate it. And in the custom scene, I think that is a really positive thing. If we were to build vehicles that everyone loves, frankly, it's going to be boring. So, this vehicle is in bare aluminium. It's as low as we could get it while still using the standard chassis and leaf springs. It's still got the standard 2.25 litre petrol engine, but it's also got a few little custom touches. It's got these lovely handmade straps to hold down the bonnet, and they're made by Hebco Trouser Company, actually up in Yorkshire. It's also got a side exhaust, but one of the features I really love in this vehicle is inside. And you know what? I reckon this thing is worth firing up. So I'm going to get in it, show you the feature I love inside, and also listen to this lovely 2.25 litre straight four engine purr. This is one of the happiest engines, and I absolutely love it. Okay, these are one of the features I absolutely love. They were handmade down in the West Country, and they're actually replicas of original Lotus race seats. They were handmade on an English wheel. They are proper craftsmanship. They do look like kind of uncomfortable devices of torture, but you know what? Once you get in them, they just hug you. I think they're beautiful. I just think they're beautiful and lovely, and I think they really suit this setting. Right. The thing I love most about these 2As is this straight four engine. I just think it's such a happy, perky engine. So it hasn't been run for a while, so let's see if it's going to start. Bit of choke. Okay, that is a rare moment. It's a little bit tacky to start. Let's need to warm up a minute. Oh yeah, it's gonna, yeah, there you go, let it stalled. Let the choke off too soon. Let it warm up for a minute and then see if we can just get it idling over. This engine, when it's idling over, I just think it is so happy. It just makes me smile. And there's a reason why, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on, but sat inside old Land Rovers is a place that makes me very happy. Let's see if that's going to tick over yet. Wrong joke. Oh, just listen to that. It's not loud, it's not leery, it's not fast, it's not furious, but I just think this petrol engine, oh, it's just joyous, and it's one of the things I love about old vehicles. This thing is just gorgeous to hear. Right, that's enough of that. We've got more cars to have a look at. Next. Okay, this is the next car I wanted to show you, and yet again this is a car from Goblin Works Garage. It's actually from Season 2, and this is a car I absolutely adore. It's a Mini Clubman. It's a 1976 Mini Clubman, and it's now got a 1330 engine in it, and it's a little bit of a racing demon. Now, underneath here is an engine built by a company called Swift Tune, but there's more to that story than was in the show. I'm a Kentish boy, and Swift Tune is in Kent. And Nick Swift, who helped with this engine, here's something he doesn't actually know. When he was looking for bigger premises, he actually went to my mum's house and was looking at it as a potential property to move into. He didn't buy it, but yeah, I've always lived around the corner from Swift Tune. So when it came to building this car, the engine that I simply had to have in it was a Swifty engine. Not only that, if you want to go fast around Goodwood, in my opinion, it's the lump to have. Right, let's have a look at the engine in here. If I can crack in. There we go. Oh. There it is with its twin SUs. It's just a glorious little engine. It sits so well in here. I'm not going to start this one up. It's a bit more tricky to start up. You've got to take the spark plugs out and it takes a bit more love. But you know, it's a race pedigree engine. But it's a glorious little thing. But this car, it's got more beautiful custom features. And something I really enjoyed about when I put this car together, I use a lot of local people in the Kent area. It's got components from CAD, CAD, and it's also got Curly UK Carbon Fiberwork, who's also a Kentish lad. So the interior of this is well worth a look, because not only has it got carbon features on the outside, it's got a full carbon interior, which is well worth a look. So whiz round and I'll show you inside this car. So this has got a custom carbon fibre interior made by Curly UK. He also did door cards, floor cards, parcel shelves, and all the exterior carbon work. But what I really like about this is it's a one-off for this car. It's got the original Clubman gauges, which used to be in a bank of 3, and we actually divided them up to go into his race carbon dash. And so this car is kind of like half road, half race, kind of inspired. It's just a great place. It's kind of a bit modern, but also, I don't know, a nice bit of heritage there. It's a nice blend, I really think. But yeah, again, Marmite car. People love it, people hate it. Right, on to the next car. Okay, this is something a little bit more spicy. I first worked with this in India, in Rajasthan, or actually Delhi, where I actually bolted 2 Royal Enfield bullet engines into it and then drove it across the Rajasthan desert. And people often ask me what happens to vehicles once you finish filming. Well, this one got packed up in an ISO container and I actually brought it back to my workshop, where since then, when I've had a bit of free time, it has got totally reworked to be kind of a bit more racy. In the back there, it's got a Kawasaki ZZR 1400 engine, which is just under 200 horsepower. It weighs nothing, it's 2-wheel drive. That's rear wheel drive, and it should be an absolute hooligan. The sad thing is though, since finishing it, as you can see, it's absolutely immaculate. It hasn't yet been ragged, so once they finally let us out, this is something that's going to get some abuse. Right, this is also something you need to hear, because compared to the Land Rover, this is a leery beast. I'm now going to climb inside, which probably isn't the nicest thing to see. Right, here we go. Okay. Yet again, this hasn't been run for a while. I do like to normally run all the vehicles for a decent amount of time so they get fully warmed up once a month. They haven't been run for around 3 months, but this is the first sort of time I've had a bit of a chance to get to them and run them up. I'll only run it up for a little bit, but hopefully this... Oh, I've got an indicator on. There we go. Hopefully this will fire up. Here we go. Right, I'm going to let it warm up just a little bit before we really hear what this thing sounds like. But you can hear the difference in the Land Rover. This is an aggressive beast. It's leery, should be a lot of fun. This is my little wild child. And I like the real flip difference in cars. You can go from something Sunday drive, sedate, like the Land Rover, to an absolute wild child. Strap yourself in, hold tight, and this is exactly that type of vehicle. Right, let's hear it. You might want your fingers in your ears for this. It does rev at 14,000 RPM. restoration for me. It is completely finished. It needs testing. No doubt it is going to need a lot more work, but right now it's ready to go. Okay, that's enough of that. On to something very, very special. If I can get out in one piece. Okay, the next car is something that for me has had more intrigue than any other car I have purchased. This is it. It's a recent purchase. I actually had this imported from the USA. It's a little old English car that you'll recognise. It's an Austin Healey Sprite. Here it is. Ooh. So as you can see, this is an old historic race car. I recently bought it for not a lot of money, and it needs complete restoration. It's sadly been let go. It's been in someone's garage for a long period of time, and it's come to it. But this car got me very, very excited. I've always wanted an historic race car, and I jumped at my chance to own one, and this is it. Since then, this car has started to take me on quite an incredible journey. What's underneath here is actually quite solid. It's got the original race ready A series engine, which is kind of 1960s race tuned. It's got the old 1960s fuel pump and all those good bits in there, and it does actually run, although it hasn't got a radiator. The oil cooler is completely spanked. It does run, but if you see the state inside this cab, you'd be surprised. But one of the features that I think is incredible on this and got me excited is this windshield. Since buying this car, I've looked into its history and found out that your man Carroll Shelby actually ran 3 of these whilst training people how to drive. You may notice the colour is a little bit Shelby-esque, but the feature that has really excited me about this car is this windshield, because it is exactly the same, and it's handmade, so some old boy was knocking them out somewhere, but it's exactly the same, if you look at the rivets, the reinforcing ribs, as the one on Carroll Shelby's known car. So this car may have links to the man himself. So yeah, this car's got me excited. It needs a full restoration. The restoration would be happening now, but sadly, with things the way they are, it's just on the shelf. But yeah, take a look inside this. I mean, this thing is, she's needing some love. So yeah, you can see it's a little bit Fred Flintstone at the minute. It used to be a left-hand drive car. A lot of race drivers in America swapped them over to right-hand drive because they felt like it gave them the edge. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be racing this anywhere soon, but I do want to get this car back mechanically sound, still looking period, but back on the racetrack. I want this thing racing again in historic races. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful car. Okay, the last car I want to show you is for me where it all began, and it's a celebration for me, but it's not the most remarkable, it's not the most unique, it's just a bog standard Series 3 Land Rover. If any car sums up this virtual car show, it's this car for me. You can see the number plate has JDV on it. It's not a personalised number plate. This car came with that number plate. It actually belonged to a neighbour of mine, and when I was a young lad coveting my first car, I really, really wanted this. And a bit of misfortune happened. My neighbour, his wife was pregnant. The water pump failed on this. The head cracked, and he had to take it to the garage, and he frankly couldn't be bothered with it. The garage said they'd buy it off him, and I offered him the same amount of money, and it became mine. So this is my first car. I've kept it ever since, although I will be honest, the chassis is completely knackered, and I am actually going to be restoring this car in Practical Classic magazine. That would have started by now. I did the first article, but since COVID-19 it's been put on hold. It's actually loaded on this trailer, ready to go to, it was going to be at the restoration show. Sadly, things got put on hold, and here it still stands ready to go. But this car really sums up our world. It's a celebration of us getting out there and enjoying motor vehicles, whether we're restoring them, whether we're driving them. This for me is where it started. Anyway, listen, it's been a pleasure letting you have a look at my vehicles. Guys, hope you're still having a great day.